What is the downward spiral? See, the downward spiral, at least in my eyes, is very much just when you're going through life, but then the things you care about or the hobbies you have start getting thrown away to the side, and your life starts becoming less of a life and more just something you're going through the motions of. You're on autopilot, basically. You're a bot. The way I see it, you're tired or you're sick of something, you had a bad day, you get thrown off your rhythm, and you're just doing the bare minimum to keep yourself alive. You go to work, you make your money, you eat, and you go to sleep, and there you go. That's your life right there. Day after day after day. Eat, sleep, work. Unfortunately, if you don't actually realize that you're only doing those things, it's this cycle that doesn't actually have an end in sight. A few years ago, I actually threw myself down into one of these spirals for a few months, and I'll honestly say this is probably one of the hardest things to actually break out of. And for me, getting into that cycle, I don't even know how it happened, truthfully. The summer ends, I continue my job as normal, but then I start losing at certain things. I start picking up a few more shifts, sleep longer, and I believe the two components that kind of threw me onto the spiral was I stopped talking to my friends as much. My social life basically became null, and then I stopped working out as well. Being physically active is a very, very large component of my life. Right? If I go like a week or a few days of not working out, not at least going outside, not even going for a walk, I can see how my whole demeanor can change just because I'm just not able to get out there and move. And a few years ago when that happened, I didn't realize it, but I threw myself into a terrible spiral. I went from being, fairly new to it, but I was a little bit of a gym rat, working out all the time, going out with my friends all the time. And all of a sudden my life became work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep every single day. And don't get me wrong, tons of money, but those were the most miserable checks I've ever had. And this went on for a few months of just this terrible cycle. One thing I do very fondly remember is I was always frustrated. I was always on tip all the time, and I could never really pin down why I was like that. Why was I a little bit more frustrated with things so easily? Why was I less willing all of a sudden to go do this or go help out? I was just, I'm good. I'm gonna go do my own thing. And my own thing was just go home, go to sleep, eat something, and go back to work. Any hobbies I had, they're all just kind of thrown in the trash. At the time, I thought man, this is my life. I'm never gonna get anything out of it anymore. This is what it is. It's over. The big thing I think I needed to realize was that I was in this spiral and that it's only my own doing. And then secondly, it's not over. It's my life. I can go and do something about it. And to be completely frank, I understand recognizing being in a downward spiral is incredibly difficult, but I feel as you get older, as you go through it once or twice, you start to recognize what causes it and how you feel during it so you can break out of it sooner and sooner and sooner. For me, like I said earlier, I noticed I was more on edge, and it just got to a point for me where I kind of told myself, dude, I'm miserable. I don't enjoy my life. I don't like what I'm doing. It's not fulfilling in any way. It's just like a miserable existence. I'm not saying I wanted to end it all, but it was just, is this really all I get? And I need to learn to work towards a little bit more. Any goals I had, any aspirations I had before this little spiral were gone as well. And it hit me. All right, I need to change something. So the first thing I did was, granted, it does not need to be this early, but the next day I set myself a much earlier alarm clock. Before, I always had a habit, I'm just going to sleep in. I'll wake up and it's like, oh shit, I only have 30 minutes before work. I'll just go straight there. And that was it. Sleep, quite literally, sleep and work. I forced myself, take out a section of that sleep and fill it with productive time. It's like, okay, I'm going to wake up earlier. I'm going to go to the gym. Actually go to the gym. Actually force myself to work out even if I don't want to. I'm going to walk home. I'm going to make myself food. I'm not going to buy some cheap junk off some restaurant. I'm going to make myself food for the day. Then I'm going to go to work. Now, I've gone to work with a completely different day. Instead of just sleep and then 10 minutes to get ready and go, I've now had a full workout in. I'm feeling good. I've made myself healthy food. And I actually have time to prepare for my work. I'm not just in a rush. Just get there, work, get out. The truth is, one day isn't going to fix it. Any actions you take towards something have to be as consistent as possible. I can't go eat one good meal a week and say, yeah, I'm eating healthy, even though the rest of the week I eat junk food. Or I can't say, yeah, I'm trying to get my life back on track because one day out of the week, I decided I'm going to wake up early, make myself food, and actually go and work out. One day out of the week isn't going to solve my problems. And initially it was rough. I took it week by week. Some days you kind of faltered. But when you're trying and experimenting new things in your life, you're going to find out what works and what doesn't. And I found out really quickly what doesn't work is sleeping in super late and barely having any time to go to work and not working out. What worked was waking up early, going to the gym, getting some physical activity in, and then going to work. Filling up as much of the empty time I have in a day with something productive. Once you become consistent in this, you can start looking more bigger picture, right? I was able to bring myself back up on my feet, right? I'm feeling better, I'm doing better, but right now I've lost some things I had before. I had goals before. What were they? Do I want to change them? Has anything changed with me that I want to look forward to? When you're starting out, I would always start small. I said in a different video, instead of making the whole book, reading a whole book the goal, make it each chapter a goal instead. So instead of saying in 10 years, I want to have $5 million and a house. Instead, it's like, okay, at the end of this month, I want to make a little bit extra money. And maybe I want to finish a class in something that in the future will help me get a new job to make more money. You take it week by week, month by month, with smaller goals that consistently build you up. And in 10 years, you will be a much, much greater person than you were before. And the real takeaways from getting out of a downward spiral is there is help around you that you should 100% utilize if you can, but it is your life. Are you really going to let outside influences change how you feel and how you see the world? If you want something better for yourself, or if you just want to live a healthier, happier lifestyle, you need to make those changes. All right, like I said before, to get out of my downward spiral, I had to start going back to the gym, waking up earlier, making my own food to help bring myself out of it. My dad couldn't do that for me. My brother could not do that for me. No one's going to force you to get up and get after it. But if you're happy how you are with how your life is going and how things are going on, then obviously you don't have to worry about it. But if you feel like there's really no end in sight, or you've just been going through the motions of life, then it's really important to change what you're doing as quickly as possible so you can lead as fulfilling as a life as possible.